Hello and welcome to my video where I will be covering the LCK Week 4 Day 1. I do this for all 4 major regions. I cover the games, take notes. This is my spiel. So I take notes. I save you time from watching, say, a 46-minute game or for another 46-minute game. I mean, this series here was a real treat, if you could say it like that. I really wish I could get Game 2 back. The 46-minute game was frustrating to watch. Nevertheless, like I said, I do this for all 4 major regions. Right now, the LCK is the only one that played today. Obviously, tomorrow, this will be LPL and LCK when the LPL returns. First series was between T1 and HLE. Mismatch on paper. HLE played well. I am going to, it's kind of a give and take. This is the first game back from the break. Is T1, did T1 come out slow? I think they did. But I think that's the break. And I think HLE also played well. So trying to find the middle ground there to where, was it HLE getting better or was it T1, coming out slow? So game 1, as you see here, not a lot really happened despite the score being 17-8. I don't have a lot of notes there because really the game was kind of, there wasn't a lot going on. Early game T1 got a double kill in mid. It was a 2v2. Owner with both kills on Lee Sin. HLE then at 5 minutes would outplay a dive. This was important. I think if you want to get an idea of how this game became HLE's in such a big way, you should watch that at 5 minutes because Dudu just outplayed the dive. And in doing so, the Jax was able to go off all game long. I would say Dudu was probably HLE's MVP, especially in game 1. So HLE would then go bot lane at 10 minutes, try and push their advantage, reset. T1 would take a mountain and then go top. So T1 were starting to come back into the game. HLE would take an infernal. 21 minutes, however, the game was really decided when HLE aced T1 in mid. Karis and Dudu both with double kills, which resulted in a cloud, and shortly after that, they would win a fight 4-1 for Baron. So clearly the HLE contingent had a better composition for team fights, winning that fight in mid 5-2 at 21 minutes, and then winning the fight 4-1 after Baron at 25 minutes. Dudu with a double kill in the Baron fight as well. So like I said, Dudu was the MVP. I think that outplay at 5 minutes didn't put Dudu ahead. And in doing so, not only put him ahead, but he was able to go off the rest of the game. Whereas Zeus was not able to match him. So 28 minutes, HLE were up 12-8, 6.5K gold, and OnFleek was 1-3-11 on J4. So OnFleek had 100% kill participation. He was setting up the plays. He was able to get Gumayushi out. He was able to get Faker out. In the Cataclysm, and do his job. So after the Baron, they're up 6.5K, nice gold lead, went to Soul Point. T1 really didn't have much to, much to offer to stop HLE. 32 minutes, HLE would win a third team fight and end off of it. Samdi with a quadra kill on Zeri. Zeri looked really good today in all the games she played, and game 1 was no exception. They let Zeri go through, and they lost because of it. Game 2, much closer as you see here, 10-7. However, T1 really just smoked them. This game only lasted 24 minutes. HLE would outplay a top lane dive again at 4 minutes, Dudu with both kills on Tryndamere. However, Tryndamere is not Jax. Similar properties and, the way you look at the champions, what the team wants to do. You know what the team wants to do in top lane, drafting Tryndamere and Jax, but it doesn't quite offer the same amount of flexibility when it comes to team fights and team composition. So in the end, the Tryndamere wasn't able to execute on that double kill as nice as the Jax did in game 1. T1 take Cloud on the other side of the rift. HLE go top lane to get Dudu ahead even farther, so they're really investing in Dudu. T1 dive bot at 9 minutes, double kill. HLE go mid. At 11 minutes, T1 would outplay a gank 2-0 in top lane. So there was a skirmish there. It ended up being, I think, 3v3 by the time it was done. And T1 won it 2-0. So at 13 minutes, T1 were up 5-4 and 3K gold already. I mean, and we're only 13 minutes into the game. I might have said 15 minutes. 13 minutes, and there's a 3K gold lead. Like, that's massive at that time. HLE were able to answer with a Drake. T1 took a Drake. So between about 12 and 19 minutes, nothing really happened. Both teams just exchanged Drakes uncontested as T1 expanded their gold lead. Went mid lane. We're up 6.5K gold by 21 minutes. Like I said, they're just expanding their gold lead, and all they did was get 1 kill in that time. Hence why the score is so close and low scoring. T1 just out macroed and outplayed HLE in lane simply with lane management and manipulation. 22 minutes, T1 would take a Baron pretty much uncontested. It pushed their gold lead to 7.5K. Went to Soul Point during that time and ended before the Baron was even up, 2-0 through, through push. Zayas with a double kill on, I believe, Jace. So, very easy game for T1. Despite, like I said, I keep saying the score is 10-7, but 6.5K gold lead at 21 minutes, and you didn't even really do much in terms of fighting. There was no, ace like there was in the first game where HLE got ahead. T1 just outplayed them straight up in lane. Game 3, the decider. I haven't mentioned Keria the whole time. He ends up being the MVP. The way I do this when it comes to Game 3s especially, I determine my MVP from that, because really, what does it matter what you did in Game 1 and Game 2? Game 3 is where you win or lose. If there's a tie, mentally, if I am deciding between two players, I'll look back at the other games. But Keria ends up being MVP. He played Tom Kench. He pulled the Tom Kench out, and he looked good on it. He had a couple key plays saving his teammates. And, I mean, that was the second TK game, actually, because Game 2 he also played it. So, at 6 minutes, Dudu would solo kill Zayas. So, Dudu once again shows up. Like I said, he would have been the MVP for HLE, because he showed up in all 3 games. I mean, it's hard to ignore him showing up every game. He did something in the early game. He was putting his team ahead. T1 would go bot lane. 9 minutes of first fight. Amplik would get a double kill for HLE to get Rift Herald, turn that into an Infernal. HLE were running away with it, we thought. I mean, at 19 minutes, they took a Hex Tech. Won a fight 3-2. To do so, Karis and Gumiushi both with double kills for their teams. 21 minutes. T1 would win a fight 2-1 in mid. HLE would then take a Ocean Soul Point. So, like I said, HLE now have Ocean Soul Point. 27 minutes. They take Baron pretty much uncontested. They get a they don't do anything with it though, which is what ends up killing them in the end. You got Ocean Soul Point. You take a Baron uncontested, and they did nothing with it. T1 were able to get an Ocean to stop the Drake stacking. Zayas would then solo kill Dudu at 33 minutes to match the solo kill from earlier in the game, which turned into a Baron for T1. It ended up being useless as well because there's a skirmish afterwards. All they were able to do was take another Drake to stop HLE from taking the soul at that point. 37 minutes, T1 were up 9-8. The gold was pretty much even, and Owner was 3, 1, and 4 on Xin Zhao. So, I mean, I really didn't mention Owner this whole time, but if you imagine every little skirmish here, that 2-1 in mid at 21 minutes, the time they went bot in the early games, Owner was getting kills here or there, but he had a lot of kill participation, participating in 7 of the 9 kills. He was very active. HLE would get a pick at 37 minutes as well. 40 minutes, there was an exchange of objectives. T1 took the Baron, HLE took the Ocean Soul. There was a 1-to-1 fight afterwards. Both teams reset, and that was kind of the deal at the time. HLE have Soul, T1 have Baron. T1 were not able to do anything with the Baron, and in the end, clearly by the score, HLE couldn't do anything with the Ocean Soul. So, final fight, 46 minutes. Owner with a double kill as T1 won 4-1. A big damage dealer in this fight was Faker, who was saved by Keria. He ate him, spat him back out, dealt a bunch of damage. There was multiple skirmishes. I think the one after the Baron as well. Actually, it might be the fight. I think it was the fight at 35 minutes where T1 took the second Ocean to prevent Soul. Keria was able to eat well, not, I guess I shouldn't say eat because he has Tom Kench that sends the wrong message. He was able to block, I believe, the ultimate from HLE, Samdi. So, in doing so, blocking the ultimate, he was able to prevent his team from pretty much getting destroyed. I mean, it would have taken out a carry, and maybe they lose that fight for the Ocean, and HLE gets a soul at that point, and T1 don't have a Baron to stop the bleeding at the time. So, Carrio's MVP, I think that pocket pick was really nice with the Tom Kench. It's going to really kind of set things up for later on in the split where teams have to respect it, especially this week when they have to play a Gen G. Series 2 between DRX and KT. Like I said, this series was a doozy. 4th and 5th in my power rankings, both 3 and 3. DRX, I think, had COVID issues this past week, so they didn't have all their players scrimming. So we thought that they would run their challengers roster the whole time, especially after game 1. That didn't end up being the case. Like I said, that didn't end up being the case. Game 1, DRX did run them the challengers roster with Deft at AD still. Actually, the challengers roster threw the first punch right away. Saytab with a solo kill on Arya in mid lane. Once again, Arya disappointing me. In the Victor Azir matchup, KT would take an Infernal in the early game. KT would then start firing back. They got a kill in top lane, got a 2v2 kill, took a mountain, started stacking Drakes. By 18 minutes, I mean, they had made a couple pick plays. DRX were up well, actually, DRX weren't up. KT had made 4 plays in the last, 9 minutes. Like I said, 9 minutes, they go top lane. 10 minutes, they get a 2v2 kill. And then they make 2 more plays in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And they're really cruising. Cuz is all over the place. 18 minutes, DRX won a fight 4-3. In which case, Cuz had a double kill for KT. So DRX, the whole team, contributed to this. Nobody had multiple kills. KT would go to Cloud Soul point. So the one drawback I will say is DRX, I believe it was Peach. Peach might have been the jungler. It was either Peach was either the jungler or the top laner. But the jungler was allowing Cuz to take all these Drakes, and that was a problem. Really almost let the game get away. 21 minutes. KT were able to make 2 pick plays, top and bot simultaneously within a minute, which put them up 9-5. However, the gold lead was only 1K. The trade-off of taking all these Drakes was that DRX were farming, keeping up in gold, keeping up in items. In the most important fight at 25 minutes, DRX were able to get a kill to stop the Cloud Soul from going to KT. In doing so, that led to a fight for Baron where they got it. 2-1, and they ended off the Baron 2-1 in top lane. Final score 13-11. This was KT's game, in my opinion. DRX ran their challengers roster and won, which they should have ran their challenger roster the whole entire time. Despite them winning 2-1, I think they should have played their challenger roster throughout. They deserved it. They won game 1. But KT, they had this game won. That one pick at 25 minutes that led to them losing the soul lost them the game. That's what lost them the game. And frankly, it's what lost them the series. Because in the end, they lose. And it was just that one play. Game 2, much different. DRX pull out all their challenger players, put in their starters. And, it is a slow game. KT play it completely differently. Both teams do. Very, very slow. DRX would take a mountain in the early game. Deft and Barrel were able to really take on aiming and life in the bot lane. Got 2 kills at 9 minutes in the 2v2. A minute later, DRX take the Rift Herald, despite KT getting a kill in the fight. Did you get it? DRX would take a mountain. They would eventually take Infernal Soul in this game. So the first soul of the day. Well, actually, that's a lie. Because HLE took a soul. Never mind. Just completely ignore what I just said. So eventually they do get a soul in this game. 12 minutes. DRX will get another 2v2 kill. So the 2v2 bot lane were really doing the work for DRX. Deft ends up being the MVP. Because, he was the only guy that was playing in all the games for DRX. Especially both their wins. But also game 2, Deft and Barrel were clearly the only players really showing up. 3K gold lead. KT would take an Infernal at 17 minutes to stop the Drake stacking. If you see here, I've got red, purple, orange. I mean, so from 17 minutes to 35 minutes, the only fights that occurred were around objectives. There were not fights outside of that that really made a difference. So 17 minutes, like I said, KT stopped the Drake stacking with an Infernal, aiming with a double kill. DRX would then respond 6 minutes later, going to Soul Point, but losing the fight afterwards 3-0, aiming with another double kill. So aiming with 2 double kills on Zeri, despite Deft getting all those kills in the early game. 24 minutes, DRX stole the Baron. I will say, I almost would want to put, if they had won this game, I would not have made Deft MVP for this series. I would have made Pioshik MVP. Only because this kind of, at this point, aiming had 2 straight double kills. Zeri was really popping off. They were about to turn it into a Baron and really just snowball and run away with the game. But Pioshik stealing that Baron was able to extend this game another 22 minutes, in my opinion. Without that, they probably end off of that Baron. DRX steal it. They're not able to do anything with it, but they're able to prolong the game. DRX did take Infernal Soul at 28 minutes, a fight they won 3-1. 33 minutes, KT would take a Baron. DRX would win the fight 2-0 afterwards, pretty much rendering it useless. Take away 2 of the Baron buffed players, and now they can't, you know, expand around the rift as much and get all these Baron empowered minions to the base of DRX. However, during that Baron, KT were able to get enough priority to take the Elder. In a fight, they won 3-2, aiming with another double kill. Aiming was definitely the MVP of this game. We're sitting at 36 minutes, and he's 9-3-1. And the team only has 12 kills. So he's got 75% of the kills. DRX get a pick at 38 minutes. A minute later, they were able to get another pick to take Baron. So, I mean, DRX are starting to kind of show up. 42 minutes, KT were able to take another Elder. Weren't able to finish. This is what I'm saying, frustrating. DRX had this game, lost it. KT could have finished this game 2 or 3 times over, but couldn't finish it. DRX made a stand, were able to stop the KT push of the second Elder, and it took till 46 minutes with some trickery and a backdoor for KT actually to win this game, despite all these Elders and I mean, it was the Infernal Soul that was really helping DRX because Zeri was destroying them in damage. But the Infernal Soul were giving them enough buffs to be able to be competitive in the fights. I mean, I was not impressed with KT at all in this series. I mean, winning on a backdoor at 46 minutes against a team like this, I don't know. Losing to a challenger roster, you should have won. Not good. Game 3, obviously you see here the score is 10-2. I kind of view this game a lot like I view Game 2 of that one. It is a very slow game, not a lot of kills, and that was kind of the story of it. Early game was slow. DRX took a cloud. First kill happened in 9 minutes where KT were able to get one for Rift Herald. Then they went bot lane at 11 minutes, and KT seemed to be running away with it. Similar to how HLE were running away with Game 3 in that one, just like getting up to an early lead, and you just thought, wow, they were going to end the game. Took an Infernal, get a pick at 14 minutes, take a Hextech Drake. 20 minutes, they have 2 Drakes. They've got a couple kills. DRX don't have anything to show for it. However, at 23 minutes, DRX are able to take a Hextech of their own. Deft with a double kill on Jinx. They gave Deft Jinx. What a mistake. What a terrible drafting error. Deft is notorious for his Jinx, and it was just, it was a difference. So that double kill completely changes the game. DRX take a pick. KT gets Soul Point, but it doesn't matter because DRX are now up all this gold. By 29 minutes, the score is only 4-2, but they're up 6k gold because now KT don't want to fight DRX over objectives or priority or camps or anything because Deft is so far ahead. 6k gold leading at 32 minutes. They want to fight 3-0 in mid and end. They had taken the mid inhib without a Baron because KT couldn't match DRX. They could not get in a confrontation. Final score is 10-2. Really, like I said, the game ended at 32 minutes, a 3-0 fight. So really, it was 7-2, and the game was over. I mean, DRX got a couple kills around the Nexus at the end, but I mean, they just slow played them a lot, like Game 2 with T1 and how they won. It was just very slow, LCK style of a win. Like I said, Death is the MVP. Excuse me. His Jinx was phenomenal in Game 3. Had a couple really big plays in Game 2 to get his team ahead despite them losing. I mean, I don't like either team in this matchup. I really don't. DRX kind of, I mean, they don't know who they're playing. KT choked Game 1 away and lost the series because of it. So tomorrow, hopefully, there's better League of Legends played, I guess, than this series. But like I said, nevertheless, thank you for watching this video where I covered the LCK Week 4 Day 1. Come back tomorrow for Week 4 Day 2 of the LCK and Week 4 Day 1 of the LPL. That video will obviously be longer, but I do timestamp the games below so you have an idea of just what you want to, what time to watch if you only are interested in, T1 or KT or whatever. I also will put out my power rankings for the LEC today and the LCS tomorrow. Obviously, there aren't any LCK or LPL power rankings because they didn't play last week. They're not going to change. I obviously will update them next week. So, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.